Okay, this is our last online lecture for what we call conversation or communication level 2. Unintentionally, I missed a class last week because I was sick, and yeah, there's a lot of, I don't know exactly what it was, not COVID, because I was tested for that. Guess just the flu, and my son was also afflicted with that condition, so I chose to cancel class. So that's why that didn't happen last week. So this was probably going to happen anyway, so it worked out. We'll do our presentations on Thursday as planned, which will mean the whole class. But we have enough time to finish them off, and we have a class next week when the exams start after that. So let's start, first of all, just reminding you, the exam does start in a couple weeks. It is an oral interview where I'm going to ask you questions. All the questions are ones that you practiced. In the first part of the semester, everybody submitted their written versions of their answers, which I checked. And so you've had the experience of sitting in front of a professor who speaks English as a first language. And so one of the questions will be repeated from the midterm. If it's one that I already asked you, that's just the luck of the draw. I'm not going to look at the midterm scores or the questions that I asked. So I'm just going to randomly choose one question from the first 6. If it's your favorite question, then that's good. And if it's not, or it's a question that you didn't like or it didn't go well, you still have to be prepared for them. And I think this is a good simulation of real life. Normally you wouldn't know the set of 10 questions anyway, and some questions are going to be easier than others. Some involve a little bit more difficult grammatical forms, which, as you know, we didn't spend a lot of time in working on grammar, and that tends to be the majority of, at least the Korean students' weak points tend to be related to pronunciation and grammar, and that's fine. My second language is French, and my weak point is grammar, and my weak points are grammar and pronunciation. So I feel the same way you do when I'm in the situation. If I'm writing, grammar is going to be my concern. When I'm speaking, pronunciation and grammar is going to be my main concern. It takes a long time to improve that, and you have to make an effort. I studied French until second year university, so I was 20 years old, and I never took a French course again. So I spoke French until I was 20, and now I'm 43. There's no way my pronunciation or my grammar is going to improve unless I really make an effort. You're much younger than me. You can make an effort and you can improve your pronunciation still, but it's grammar and pronunciation get improved much easier when you're younger. The younger you are, the better. Just to pick up the rules sort of automatically and to listen and imitate automatically. When you're in kindergarten, that's the best time to acquire grammar. And so you guys, you people, you ladies and gentlemen, are not 6. So if you really want to improve your pronunciation and grammar, you have to work at it. And it's not going to happen overnight. You have to really put the time in, and it's almost like exercise. If you don't exercise, you don't get muscle, you don't lose weight. You got to keep doing it every day. So that's my advice. If your weak point from the midterm, I said your scores were lower, in that category. And there is a student I need to respond to who emailed me about what her scores were and what the issue was. For her and for the majority of you, that is the thing that needs to be improved. And it might not improve in one semester. It might take you a few years to get better at it. So don't give up and just keep, exercising, training. You're not going to lose 10 kilograms in 1 month. If you want to lose 10 kilograms like I do, it's probably going to take me 6 months or a year before I see some good results. So I hope that's a good metaphor. The second and the third question, it's the same 10-minute period, so you have a couple minutes. 2 minutes is ideal to answer your first question from chapter 1 to 6 topics, and then chapters 7 to 10 are the new topics, which I'm going to go over today, because since we had the midterm, we've had less time to talk about the topics in class, and so I want to talk about each one of these in turn. So we'll start with health, chapter 7. I don't have my textbook in front of me, so I hope I've got this right. We'll just start with health. I think the title of the chapter is How to Be Healthy. And health involves a lot of things. There's emotional health, there's mental health, there's physical health. Famously, the Greeks said, a sound mind lives in a sound body. Excuse my sniffling. So I think it's less true now because we have such good medicine and we have doctors and we have treatments and we have knowledge of physical sickness. So you can overcome that. You can still be mentally healthy and be physically weak. But you can imagine several thousand years ago, the idea that if you take care of your body, and you take care of your mind, that your mind is part of your body, and that's always going to be true, no matter how much medicine or techniques or treatment we have. Eventually, if you abuse your body because you're young and you think you're invincible and you can drink what you want and you can smoke and you cannot sleep, eventually those behaviors catch up with you and it starts to affect your mental state. Okay, so it's your choice if you want to talk about mental health, mental illness. If you want to be positive. Obviously, it's very sad and it's very upsetting. Certain diseases are very deadly. Heart disease, I believe, is still #1 in America, but heart disease and cancer are among the highest killers, more than guns. Like you hear about guns killing people and stuff. That's a safety issue, not a health issue, but they're kind of related. But let's just stick to, rather than talking about accidents, because that's more safety, just focus on, what to eat. Diet, usually people think about diet as eating certain things that make you lose weight. Also, it also means eating less. But you can go on a diet to get stronger, for example. You can go on a diet because you're doing a movie, right? You probably, let me try to think of contemporary examples here. I'm not going to delete that. That's I'm probably going to sneeze in a edited video anyway. Speaking of health, allergies. I'm not sure if I'm dealing with allergies or just my nose. Sorry, I don't normally go off screen, but your nose is running. It's a symptom, right? So you can talk about health in any dimension. When a doctor sees you, you go to the doctor and say, "Oh, doctor, my nose is blocked all the time. I keep sneezing. I'm doing a live demonstration unintentionally. Is it an allergy? Am I sneezing because there's something in my nose? Is it a symptom of a cold? Do I have infection? Or is it seasonal allergies or something, something I ate? I don't know, but air quality, we get good days and bad days in Korea, and fine dust and other things. Environment causes health problems, so you can talk about healthcare systems, you can talk about COVID, you can talk about personal health, you can talk about emotional health. There's so many choices, in the textbook, it talks about aches and pains. Some of the vocabulary in Korea is very similar, where we have multiple words in English. So you got to watch a little bit. An injury, for example, if you have an injury, it's a physical, there's a physical damage to your body. If something hurts, that's a type of pain, right? An ache, like a stomach ache or a headache, is kind of a consistent, right? A stable kind of pain. If you suddenly get pain, for example, I do a good job of damaging myself all the time. It's an injury first. I have a nice scar here on my arm. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I stuck my hand in the oven and then I burned my arm, and people were concerned that I had for some reason, like it was a serious injury or something, or I'd hurt myself on purpose or something like that. But at one point you can see there was lines and this big burn mark, and it just looked really nasty, like I had intentionally put my hand in the oven or tried to burn my arm off. And that's not true. I just I'm careless, and I burned myself badly touching the elements in an oven, and the result of that was immediately sharp pain, and it hurt, right? It is an injury, but not an ache. If your head hurts because you're tired or because you're sick or something like that, we call it an ache. Aches and pains it's less intense and it lasts longer. So pain covers any sort of feeling of things hurting. Injury is damage to your body, and just so you know the difference. You would say, does it hurt? And you say, yes, it hurts. And the doctor would usually say, well, what kind of pain is it? Is it like an ache, like every day it kind of hurts, like your back hurts every day? If it's bad pain and it keeps going for a long time, like years, then you call that chronic pain, right? Pain that never goes away, okay? So health, it includes what you eat. It includes, your physical and mental state, exercise, and your behavior. Go where you want with it. If you want to talk about Western medicine or Oriental medicine, or you want to talk about an injury that you had, so many options. The textbook largely just talks about physical things and descriptions of diseases and conditions. But we all know, like, health is a very complicated thing. We spend a lot of our life and a lot of our money making an effort to be healthier people. So I think that topic is an easy one, because you can choose anything that's related to keeping your mind and your body in good condition, right? Excuse me. Okay. So next one is space. As I explained in one class, but we missed the other class, I will show you a little bit of space stuff in class, and we'll talk about it in class because I did talk about that topic in some detail in one of the classes, but the Thursday class didn't get the speech, and I have a video to show you. But some people are interested in space and some people are not. So you have to think about something related to space that, if you're not dreaming of being an astronaut, then it's probably not your favorite category. But space includes satellites and the International Space Station, and it's an incredibly expensive thing for us to send our equipment up into space, and we wouldn't have the internet, and we wouldn't have the global communication networks, and we wouldn't know about typhoons and hurricanes and weather. We get so much information from satellites. Obviously, a lot of the space technology has applications for people like regular civilians, but it also has military advantages. So you're welcome to talk about that, or you can just talk about things at ground level. They're in the book. They talk about what it's like to be an astronaut, and how you have to adjust to being in zero gravity. I don't want you to tell me a science fiction story, but you're welcome to talk about aliens or galaxies or anything like that, or more practical things like SpaceX or NASA, or the dangers of space, or why you wouldn't want to be space, or why you would want to visit space and experience what it's like to float around, that kind of thing. Okay? So space will be partly covered. Space will be partly covered in the class, so I'll leave it at that. That you can also, whether you grew up dreaming of being doing a spacewalk or not, there's still lots of things for you to talk about. The chapter 9, I think the title is "What Have You Been Doing Lately?" The grammar point is a good one. The present perfect continuous, the past perfect continuous, past perfect, and the present perfect are difficult tenses to learn, but essentially it means that things are happening in the past and they continue forward. Sometimes they continue and then they're even happening now and then they'll continue, right? Like I have been a teacher at Chungnam for 15 years, and that action has happened for 15 years until now, and it can continue past this point, this moment in the present. That's sometimes people, when you say this question, what have you been up to lately, or what have you been doing lately, it's not even lately, what have you been doing? It implies a little bit of, the question implies a little bit of lately or recently. Excuse me. But however, you may have not been that busy or done anything that interesting recently. You might be just studying hard and doing your part-time job. So you don't really have a lot to say. So instead, you're welcome to talk about your lifestyle. Routines, right? Routines that you had before, like you can use the past perfect, right? When I was in high school, I had played volleyball for 3 years until I wrote the Sunam. Before COVID, I had been playing hockey for 5 years until COVID interrupted our hockey club. So talking about something that happened in the past and then stopped in the past too. That's the past perfect you're talking about. When my son was born 10 years ago, I had been smoking for 10 years and then I quit. So you can see there's a little bit of crossover possible between the health and the lifestyle thing, but routines, hobbies, habits, whether they're good or bad is immaterial. I'm not here to judge how freshmen spend their time. I was a freshman and I wasted as much time as possible. I went to school and didn't do my best, but I did survive. And as I went from freshman to second year to third year to being a senior, I changed my hobbies, improved my habits, and started to get a better routine, which made me happier, more comfortable, less stressed, and all that. So talk about your life and the way that you like to live your life, you know, like what you do, your behaviors. If you want to talk about something from years ago, that's fine. If you want to talk about now, that's fine. If you want to talk about how your freshman year didn't go exactly the way ideally it should, like mine, you might talk about how next year you're going to improve these things and you're going to change the way you do things, okay? I had no part-time job in my first year. I spent all my money and my time doing things whatever I felt like. And in second year, got a part-time job, started being a better student, found a girlfriend. You know, routines in my second year were better, but still grades weren't great. It was really in my third year that I started to manage my time and be more effective, have a better lifestyle, if you want to call it that, okay? Finally, the adventure topic. The adventure topic's a pretty easy one, too, because it's really, you just got to tell a story. If you had an adventure, now I think the bar is pretty high here, because in the textbook they're talking about famous explorers, adventures. You know, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon, that's an adventure. Marco Polo going to see Kublai Khan, you know, on the Chinese Yuan throne, you know, 700 years ago. That's an exciting adventure. There's a lot of description. There's a lot of details you would have to remember, so that might make it tough. But we have this genre of books, and we have this genre of movies or television shows, or whatever you want to call it, streaming Netflix programs, that adventures are anything that involves, it's got to be some danger, there's got to be a little bit of risk, you know. It can't be a safe, comfortable, I don't want to say boring, but just like stable, you know, traveling endeavor. It has to be exciting. There has to be risk or danger or thrill or exciting, and part of that is sometimes going somewhere new, or having an element of danger. So you have to make sure whatever story you tell, it's got to have these elements, right, of risk, excitement, new things, right, are part of it. It doesn't necessarily have to have all these things, but it has to have some of them, right? New is more like it might not be new to everyone, but you know, discovery, unknown discovery of things, part of adventure, right? Thrill, excitement, emotion, danger, risk. Okay, these are all the things that you know. Usually an adventure doesn't involve like not moving, so you're going to do some kind of travel to you know, somewhere, to a new place, right? To the unknown. That it doesn't, like I said, you don't have to be exploring you can be going somewhere that everybody has gone before, like not everybody, but Mount Everest is a great example. Many people have climbed that mountain, but people keep climbing it because it's every time is a little bit different, and it's dangerous, it's exciting, and it's a challenge. I think there's another good word to put in there. So whether it's from a movie or it's personal, or it's an actual historical person who has done something adventurous, it's up to you. So yeah, as long as it fits some of the criteria of adventure, then I don't think there's a problem with that one. You just have to tell the story. Probably you're going to use past tense when you're describing the events, which is quite comfortable, I think, grammatically. So it's really, the lifestyle one has the hardest things to deal with grammar. And the other ones, you know, it's just a matter of you thinking of a good idea and being able to express it in English. Our last class will be on Thursday, I believe. I'll show you some short clips about space things to help inspire you, you know, to come up with a good idea. And otherwise, we're just doing exams, and that's it. So I'll see you this week. Monday class, you have the day off on next Monday, and then I'll see you all one by one in the exam. So thank you for listening, and see you soon.